Hi everyone, it is Nicolette here from Dooney and Daughters. I am doing our Facebook live training today on our Stone Effects paint, which you can see here. So if you pop on, let me know, and if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. This video will stay up on Facebook for 30 days, so you can refer back to it anytime then. And yes, this is the second in the online Facebook training that I have done so far this year. So the last one was on using the new Luxe transfers from Redesign, so that's still available. And then this one's on Stone Effects. I think the next one might be on decoupage. So yeah, I have a few things here today to cover. I've got some notes so I remember everything as well. But yeah, Stone Effects is from the Artisan Company. It is just the most fun paint to play with. It is designed to give a textured stone look, just using a brush or some sort of spreading type tools. And yeah, super simple, super fun to use. Imperfection is the way to go with this, so you cannot get it wrong. It is designed for outdoors and indoors, but it is great for outdoors. You only need to apply one coat or two coats maybe if you want extra texture, and it is good to go outside. So we have 6 colors. Somewhere in the move I've misplaced my little color swatches that I have painted, but I'll pop in the comments a link so that you can see the colors online. But we have Pure Santorini, which is what I'm going to use today, so that is white. And then we have Onyx Shadow, which is black. Then we have Rustic Rye, which you've probably seen me show a lot. It's kind of a Tuscan inspired, warm, creamy off-white. We have Elephant Dust, which is our pale grey, and Crushed Graphite, which is a darker grey, which actually I can show you an example of. And then this one is Black Truffle, which is actually quite brown. So 6 colours. You can mix the colours together to create your own shades or to create varied looks in what you're doing, but you just can't mix other paints into the Stone Effects, as it does then change the formula. And we can't then guarantee that it's going to work as well. But if you do want to change the colour, you just paint over the top with Velvet Luxe. So we've done that before, especially before we had the white and the black. We used to do that a bit, painting over the top. Velvet Luxe has the sealer built in as well, so you only need to paint 1 or 2 coats of the coverage, and then you're good to go with that. Yeah, so this one, as I said, is the Black Truffle. I'm going to demonstrate with the Pure Santorini. Just get that out of the way. And yes, this one here, on a board I did a while ago, is the Crushed Graphite, and I'll talk about the different textures in a bit when I'm painting as well. They come in 2 sizes, so the 1 litre that I was just holding, that's 95, and then it also comes, sorry I'm doing this on my table and sometimes it wobbles a bit. It also comes in big 4 litre containers, so if you're wanting to do a few projects, or we've had people do fireplace surrounds, things like that, or walls, 4 litres is great, and that's $2.23, so really good value there. What can you put Stone Effects on? Pretty much anything. So plastic, we've had a lot of people paint their plastic plant pots. So those, terracotta, ceramic, I'm going to paint over this, the glazed ceramic. Painted furniture, varnished furniture. What else did I write down? Walls, metal. I just had a customer do a bird bath, which looked fantastic. So you can do all sorts of different projects. If it's something quite shiny or slippery like plastic, you might want to do a really thin first coat, and then that acts as a primer, and then you do the top coat, the second coat will adhere to the first coat, and you can get all the great texture. And then the only other thing really before I start painting is what kind of prep do you need to do. So just clean. If it's really dirty, obviously give it a really good clean or a wipe down, and that's it. You don't need to sand, you don't need to do anything else. This is hard and it sticks really well. Tools, so a brush is great. It washes out in water, warm water. You can use some soap if you need, but a brush. I wouldn't, like, you don't need to use your best brush because it does get down into, like, right down into the bristles, or the kind of grit. So you do need to give it a good wash. So if you've got an old brush, that's fine. And then things like this, palette knives, whatever. We've only got a few of these left. So these are the spoon tools. Yeah, and then you can create different textures depending on what you're painting. So I'm going to start on this board. I might just tilt the camera down. So I'm going to go on this board and I am just going to start. This is, as I said, I'm using the white. Actually, I just want you to see how thick it is. So it's, once it's stirred, and you can see my, I think it's an old wooden spoon, but it is standing upright. So it is a really thick paint. Just give it a really good stir and you're good to go. So load up your brush and literally brush in all directions. Stipple. You can have so much fun. You're just painting for coverage with this. You're not having to paint any amount of coats at all. If you're happy after one coat, perfect. If you do one coat and realize you've missed spots, go touch them up. Or you've done one coat and you realize you actually want more texture, then you can come back over it as well. The coverage, we say, is about 16 square meters, but honestly it depends on how much texture you want to create. If you go with lots and lots of texture, it won't go as far. If you go really minimal, it will go further. So 16 square meters is kind of a middle ground there. And if you're using palettes or tools, they're really fun. You just put it on and spread them out, and this way you can get more of a plaster look. So, and I can show you more with the other color on the other side, but you can see already the two different types of texture. So that was done with the brush, and then there with the palette knife. And you just create and keep going however you want. Yeah, it's just one of those really fun paints. In our old shop, we did the walls in the rustic grey, and it just looked really, really cool. We had our walls, some of them were like painted, some was concrete plaster, I think, some was just MDF. So we did the whole thing. This was in our front room, and it just tied everything together. We had glue on some of the walls, and it just kind of covered all the imperfections. But yeah. So all the texture from the stippling versus more that plastered kind of look. And then you'll see it dry because it's quite wet now. It's quite glossy and it dries matte. These kind of sections here where it's just a bit more built up, that's going to take longer to dry, and you'll be able to feel it because you can put your finger on it and it will kind of compress. So drying time as well, it depends on the weather. Today's very warm up in Auckland, so it'll be faster, but it does depend on weather, and it depends on how thick you've gone. So just, if you're not sure, just leave it, or maybe leave it overnight. Yeah, you want it to dry really well before, I suppose, it gets wet. And then I'm going to show you a bit on this. So I find it, like, doing plant pots and things are just so satisfying. So you just literally put it all over. And with this one, because I can still see some of the blue underneath, I would come back and I'd do a second coat. But that's only because I've done white. If I had chosen the black, but we had the white open because we did a splashback in the kitchen down at the beach. So yeah, it's just super effective. And like, this is a glazed ceramic, and this would be totally fine to go outside. I'm going to do some plant pots at my house, so I will share that when I get around to it. I've got grand plans for the year with my house. Yeah, So, super simple, super fun. I really like using the brush. I'm just going to tilt this up a bit again. I really like using the brush when I am doing smaller things, round things, because I just find it a little bit easier to get on and get lots of texture. But on big flat surfaces, I really enjoy using these kind of things. Wash up, I'm just with water. I've just got a bowl next to me, so I'm going to pop that in there. And then these water, or you could just wipe them off on some tissue or something. Yeah, so really fun, really effective. I'm just going to put that to the side. I'm doing this at my dining table, so I do have baking paper down because I'm trying to be kind of neat. Just not like me. But this is the one that's already been done. So you can see the different types of texture here. This is the crushed graphite. This has been done with those tools, the palette kind of tools. So it's much smoother and more like a plastered effect. This is what I was doing with the brush, so the stippling and the dabbing. So you can just see it's got lots of texture and movement. And then this one here is also done with the brush, but really thin. So just really lightly brushed out. So you can see it's much thinner compared to the stippling. So just different techniques. What I would do is have a play. Like honestly, with this paint, you just play it until you're happy with it. If you are doing something like a tabletop, and we did have a top in the shop, looks fantastic. It can be a little bit rough and catch your clothes. So what I did and what worked is I did a top coat, I think 1 or 2 top coats of matte lacquer, and that just smoothed it out so that I could clean it a little bit better. But also clothes no longer caught on the edges, like your fabric, especially wool. What else did I write down? Yeah, so I said don't mix other paints into it, even like other like chalk paint or anything from the Artisan Company. It will change the formula, but paint over the top with the Velvet Lux. But have fun and mix the colours together. I think I have a how-to video, so I'll pop that in the comments as well when I did that, because that's really fun. And just all sorts of projects, lots of outdoors. We have a lot of people who've done them. Tracy, who a lot of you know from the shop, she did her plastic planter that has her lemon or lime tree in it, which means that she can move it around because it's not as heavy as a stone one, but looks fantastic. And that's been going well for a few years. My mum did, just before summer, did her outdoor planters at home, and they look fantastic. And then we did the splashback down the beach, which looks amazing. That was on glass. I just had a customer email through photos of her bird bath, which looks really, really good. Lots of pot plants. I said the walls that we did the shop. All sorts. It's so much fun and such a cool way just to completely transform something else, and to get that textured look without having to do lots of color. You can also, I've done it before, I used it as the texture to then do colored waxes over the top, which then grabbed into the texture that was on a coffee table. So yeah, lots of fun, and 6 colors, the 2 sizes, the 1 litre or the 4 litres. And yeah, I'll pop some links in the comments so that you can see different projects and how-to videos. And if you ever have any questions about using it, just ask. I've used it quite a bit now, and I love it, and I will be using it at home. I have lots of grand ideas this year. I just haven't managed to have any time to do any of them yet. I suppose it's only been 2 months. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And the next live training I will do in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try and do them every 2 weeks, and the next one will be on decoupage, and I think I'm going to use the fibre papers to show people those, because I haven't done anything with them in ages, and we've just got a whole new range from Redesign with Prima, so I thought that would be a good chance to do something with them. Yeah, I hope that answered some questions, and I will see you again soon. Bye.